Ignorance is a threat to humanity. We're being dragged along by people who don't know themselves. They're completely not self-aware. As you can see from the world around us, one of our greatest threats is unawareness. We make poor decisions. We are more susceptible to being used or taken advantage of. We block our blessings. We become hazardous to our relationships. We develop an unhealthy mind, and we become a threat to humanity. Yes, ignorance is a threat to humanity. Just look around. A critical part of self-awareness is knowing your limits. There are some people who are limited. There are others who have limits. Some have both. It's important to know them because knowing them helps you navigate life's challenges. We're going to talk about mindfulness and self-awareness, the importance of knowing your limits, the dangers of unawareness, how to identify your limits, and how to work with your limits with confidence and grace for a better you and a better world. Let's get into it. We'll get to how to work with your limits shortly. First, mindfulness is the state of being present in the moment, aware that you're aware without critical judgment. It's likely one of the most underutilized tools that we have. Mindfulness is also very important for a skill that we're going to talk about. Developing this tool can instantly improve your life. This skill cultivates joy, gratitude, happiness, satisfaction, and peace of mind. I call them lions. Life challenges, unchanging circumstances. It's more than a metaphor, it's a way of life. I've loved one that I love deeply. It's just really hard to be around them. I've known this person for most of my life. When I'm around them, I can sometimes be the target of their insecurities. I am needled to evoke a reaction. A lot of our relationship has evolved around poking and criticizing and teasing and not bullying, but me not feeling so great. And I'm triggered and I sometimes can make them feel not great. And I feel terrible about that. I love this person. I know that I have to limit my time with them because I may find myself in a situation. Nothing's wrong necessarily. They're just not self-aware enough to really navigate their reaction to me, which triggers me, and the cycle goes around and around. I've learned I can only handle them in small doses, and I feel guilty about that sometimes. I hope they're not aware. Maybe they are. You may be wondering why I've not cut them out of my life. We talk about in episode 2 of this season, knowing when to let go. It's too sensitive to get into on video. I've decided that rather than letting them go, I'm going to experience them in small doses because their relationship is so important to me, and I hope to be connected with this person for the rest of my life. And it's worth it for me. The important thing about the situation is to know my limits, know their limits, and know our limits together, and that we can walk with the relationship. Before you can work with your limits, walk with your limits, you have to know them. What does it mean to know your limits? Knowing our limits means we can understand what we can tolerate before our well-being is compromised. It's how we treat ourselves, how we allow others to treat us, as well as the situations we might find ourselves in that might be unhealthy. This can apply to issues dealing with us personally, such as knowing what we can tolerate emotionally, mentally, and physically. This can apply to issues dealing with others, such as knowing how long we can be around someone. It can also mean knowing the people you cannot share space with. Perhaps there are certain environments that are just too much for you. In whatever area of your life that you apply this skill, knowing your limits can help keep you safe, help you avoid unnecessary stress, and help you make better decisions. Well, by the way, please make a decision to like and subscribe. Before we get too deep into it, let's quickly unpack a few ways knowing our limits can be great for our overall quality of life. Here's a snapshot of the benefits of knowing your limits. You're aware of knowing when it's time to take time out before you burn out. Pushing yourself too hard, whether at work, in relationships, or personal goals, can lead to mental and physical exhaustion. Setting boundaries ensures you have time to recharge and maintain long-term productivity and happiness. You know how to say no for your own mental health and well-being. Overcommitting can increase stress, anxiety, and feelings of being overwhelmed. I know this well. By knowing when to step back, you can create space for self-care and mental clarity. You develop a healthy relationship with your temple. Ignoring limits can result in physical strain, fatigue, or even illness. Listening to your body and prioritizing rest can prevent long-term health issues. My body, my temple. You nurture healthy relationships. Knowing your limits helps you communicate better and set healthy boundaries with others. This helps to prevent resentment and misunderstandings. I've always done a zillion things at one time. I was acting, singing, dancing, I was directing, I was choreographing, I like to knit and crochet, and finally I realized I really have to focus on a few things. So those things are really, really good and effective, and I need to put some things down. It was hard to do, but I did it, and now I have these videos. I chose the videos and my writing, and here I am. There are things I want to do, but I know my limits. I'm going to stick with this and see what happens. And by focusing on just this, everything's better. And it actually reverberates through the rest of my life because my job is more focused, I'm more focused on my time off, and I'm getting more out of my life. Go figure, who knew? The greatest threat, the dangers of unawareness. Did you know that unawareness is the greatest threat to knowing your limits? And when you don't know your limits, you go beyond your limits and find yourself in a situation. Knowing our limits starts with mindfulness, and mindfulness is self-awareness. It's impossible to be in a state of self-awareness when we are not paying attention to our emotions, thoughts, or actions. Walking through life disconnected and unaware of what we are experiencing does us no favors. Whether it's ignorance about personal health, emotional intelligence, social issues, or decision-making, failing to recognize important factors can lead to missed opportunities, poor choices, and even harm. Here are some of the things we do when we're living outside of our state of self-awareness. We make poor decisions. Unawareness causes us to make uninformed or impulsive decisions. When we lack critical information, we tend to rely on assumptions, misinformation, or emotional reactions. Hello, look at the world around us. As a result, we find ourselves making poor decisions that go against our best interest. We're more susceptible to being used or taken advantage of. Ignorance can make us more susceptible to manipulation, exploitation, and deception. If you are dealing with toxic people who are draining your energy as they take advantage of you, unawareness may be playing a role. You may ask yourself, what are you not paying attention to? Or what are you avoiding? We block our blessings. When we fail to recognize our strengths, weaknesses, emotions, or behavioral patterns, we remain stuck in repetitive cycles. Unawareness can look like not recognizing your gifts, not taking the time to identify areas of improvement, not sitting with uncomfortable feelings, or not acknowledging how your actions or decision-making are impacting your life. Again, be able to identify what am I doing to contribute to the drama before me. Sometimes we're the drama. We hold ourselves back in ways that no one else can. We can become hazardous to our relationships. When we lack awareness of our own emotions or fail to recognize the needs and feelings of others, conflict and misunderstanding are always right around the corner. Living life unaware of the effects of our energy may unintentionally hurt others, leading to strained relationships and emotional distress. We become a threat to humanity. Yeah, that's correct. Our lack of awareness on issues impacting us collectively can have major consequences. This is why I say one tribe, one planet, one world, one love. We are together in this mess, together. When we fail to stay informed, we may unknowingly support harmful policies, ignore injustice, or contribute to misinformation. A society that lacks awareness is more likely to remain stuck in ways that are harmful to specific populations, to cause separation because of contrasting ideology and cultural unawareness, and to make decisions that severely impact the quality of life of others. We develop an unhealthy mind. A lack of awareness about our health can have serious, even life-threatening consequences. Many preventable diseases are linked to lifestyle choices. Unawareness is often a sign of poor accountability. If we know better, we can do better. We're almost ready to walk with our limits. Understanding how to identify our limits is another important part of the process. Let's say you're ready to do the work. Where do we place our boundaries? The ability to recognize our limits is where self-awareness comes into play. Here are some steps that can help us identify our limits. Identify the specific areas in your life where you experience the most stress. Are there people, situations, or places that manifest stress? What situations in your life make you feel like things are becoming unbearable? If you feel like you can't take any more of certain situations or people, then you might need to lighten your load. See episode 2 for more on letting go. Identify the anchor in a stressful situation. This goes beyond who I can't stand or what environments are too much. You must identify the why. Why does this person bother you? Are they intentionally doing something that impacts you directly? Perhaps they don't do anything intentionally, but their character, their mannerisms, or their behaviors remind you of something uncomfortable or unpleasant. Understanding the why can help identify the root of the problem. Identify the consequences. Understanding the consequences of engaging in specific behaviors or relationships, activities, or environments can shine a light on our limits. Perhaps the consequences of engaging in certain behaviors are too high. Maybe you're unable to relax or soothe yourself around certain people or in specific spaces. Realizing the impact that specific people or places have on your life can help motivate you to make changes that are necessary. Identify what you can control. This is probably the most important part of the process. Understanding what we can control helps us identify the most efficient spaces to direct our attention and energy. Wasting energy trying to change things outside of the scope of our capability can be debilitating and self-defeating. The most important part of knowing myself has been forgiving myself for not being the perfect version of myself that I want to be, that I strive to be. Perfectionism is an ideal to strive for. It's not a state of being. And I have to give myself permission to just be me. I'm not a superhero, though I try to be sometimes. And just knowing that it's okay to just be me and not be some superhero is okay. It gives me a chance to self-assess, become more aware, and begin to like myself. As I say, I'm not sure I love myself, but I'm on the way. I do know myself. We've gone over the importance of knowing our limits. We know that unawareness is the greatest threat to knowing our limits. We know how to identify them. Let's talk about how to walk with them. Everyone has limits, so knowing how to navigate yours is an invaluable skill to master. We can't be great at everything, but that doesn't mean we can't still win. Whether it's personal growth, a relationship, professional development, educational alignment, or a hobby, we can be successful in all areas of our life. Here's how we can work with our limits to navigate life with confidence and grace. It's walking with our limits. Be honest with yourself. Accepting that some things are out of our hands allows us to direct energy towards productive and meaningful efforts. Lighten your load. Letting go of uncontrollable factors frees us from emotional burdens and negative thought patterns. Practice self-agency. Instead of feeling powerless, we become active participants in shaping our own lives. Be intentional with your purpose. Redirecting our focus towards personal growth and skill building and proactive problem solving can create opportunities for self-improvement and success. Repair your relationships with care and fairness. Focusing on setting healthy boundaries, practicing patience, and responding with kindness, we nurture more positive and respectful relationships. Letting go of the need to change others allows us to build deeper connections based on acceptance and mutual understanding. Focus on what you can control. Focusing on what you can control fosters optimism and a solution-oriented perspective. This mindset shift turns challenges into opportunities for learning and progress. I know myself and I know my limits. I'm a very creative person and I'm really good at creating on the spot. I come in, have a situation, boom, 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 it's right there. If I have to plan for an event in 6 months, that's a challenge. I can do it. I become very good at it. I have to work at it. So that means I've got to give myself time to plan so that I have time to work through the challenges of my ADHD. And in doing so, I become a better administrator. I'm proud of myself for getting through this. Knowing my limits and walking with them strengthen and increase my skill set. I've learned to walk with those challenges with grace and confidence, knowing that I have to work harder at certain things, and so I work harder at them. I give myself more time to plan, and those things often turn out very, very well. The success breeds more success, and my confidence grows. That's walking with your limits with grace. And the most amazing life has unfolded as a result. I am so blessed, and I don't take my life for granted. I worked hard for it, I earned it, but I love it and do not take it for granted. Know thyself. In episode 1, we spoke about self-healing. For self-healing, we need to learn when to let go. That's episode 2. We need letting go to deal with what we spoke about in episode 3, fake love. None of that matters if we don't understand ourselves and our limits. That takes us to today, where we talked about mindfulness and self-awareness, the importance of knowing your limits, the dangers of unawareness, how to identify your limits, how to work with and walk with your limits with confidence and grace. Next up is internalized oppression. Ooh, it'll be here when posted. If you haven't managed the first 4 topics in this series, you might find yourself in a situation where you are self-loathing due to internalized oppression, where we take on the gaslighting of the world, who would have us believe that we are second, third, fourth class citizens, if human at all, and not worthy of human rights, decency, or respect. It's happening everywhere. People are taking their pain on others, and innocent people are being dragged off to be in awful situations. We have got to stop this, and I believe we can do it by being more self-aware, being aware of the impact we have in the room, knowing ourselves, knowing each other, and loving ourselves anyway. It's hard. If it was easy, we'd all be walking around in what? Rainbows, gumdrops, and bluebirds. But we're not, because it's challenging. Walking with lions is challenging. Sometimes they do bite us. Sometimes they do burn us. Sometimes we're hurt by them. We have to keep trudging along until we are harmoniously moving as one with our lions. So be ready for that one. Internalized depression. It'll be posted about here when ready, and the full playlist is there. Check them all out, and let's do this together. One planet, one tribe, one world, one love. I'll see you there.